we always just end abruptly with the lie, and then we can, we always like lie, not abruptly. We usually lie and then say, "Okay, see you next time, Bam. I know everything. Don't forget to check out those cool shits."
Cool shit.
That's what I'm gonna say. Just kidding.
I'm J.R. Phillips. I'm the one that won't shut up, and yeah, you can't make me, okay?
And I'm Nico Harlekenden. I'm the one who took notes, lit them on fire, and then started a completely separate new project instead.
And welcome to BAM! Now you know everything!
Woo-woo! Welcome to BAM! Now you know everything, where we get weird and we hope you're weirder. So sit back and enjoy. It's the start of our favorite season. And just for some quick plugs today, we wanted to focus all of our time on a special something that is available for pre-order today, the day that this drops, and that is the Indie Creator Collective's Where Magic is Made collection. This is the premiere collection that you guys have been hard at work on. You and your merry band of creators, authors, artists. And your pre-order is offering something special. It's a bundle, right? Over on your Ko-Fi.
Right. So I just can't believe that it's 9/9 is already upon us. Like, I think maybe it's because I'm used to being like knee deep in test scores right now, that help time. But yeah, it's 9/9 already. So pre-orders are getting packaged. We have a couple of different partnerships going on, and one of them Simple Planner Designs, and she designs all the stickers and actually prints a lot of our stickers out that artists create, and she's even making bookmarks. So we're placing some of the awesome stuff in with a couple of prints that two artists made. So, a little thing about Indie Creator Collective is that the readers got to choose a lot. So they chose the artwork that's on the cover, but there was a nice runner-up, and it was pretty tight there for a while. And I think some people really appreciated the spooky vibes of it. So I was like, let's just put this in, get a print going for them. So we put that together. I got green matting for it. I'm like kind of excited about it, but we'll see how that goes, because I don't know if I'm a great matter. Like, would you guys hate it if I just sent you matting inside the package? Like, here you go.
DIY.
Yeah, in case you want it, or in case you hate it, or in case you have another picture that you would love to be matted. I don't know. But I'm really excited. The work came out so good, all the stories. And when you start a project like this, and you can definitely relate to it, because I'm sure you were inundated with stories and seeing how they would go together for your anthology, right? And so there's a part of you while you're putting stuff together, like, is it ever gonna fit? Like, does this stuff work well together? Like, and there was definitely moments where I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to make it to this point? Proof copies in the hands, love the way it looks, went back through it. Editing short stories is definitely easier, I feel, than editing an entire book, of one idea, of one plot point or major plot points, one arc, major, weaving it all together. But it was still like cool that I did it, like I can
Hell
be like,
yeah.
I fucking did it, and sometimes you have to just pause and be like, yeah, I did do that. It's cool. But I do want to read a quote because of
Please.
spooky season coming up. Ron Shaw wrote Out Beyond the Holler, and it just goes so well with Hellier and everything that we were talking about because of the Appalachia and like all the weird urban legends slash firsthand accounts that we kind of, went into. His story is definitely haunting. It's definitely heart-wrenching. And it's told beautifully. And it's
Of course.
the main character is a little boy, so a lot of it's from like a child's perspective, which in horror and spooky always makes things 10 times more horrific.
Hell yeah.
But I think a lot of people would relate to this, and that's what's going to really draw you into the story. His boots were always caked in mud, and his knees never stayed unscraped for long, thanks to his constant climbing of the tallest hickory trees or chasing after stories of the grown folk had long stopped believing in. And that's from Out Beyond the Holler, and it's all about like these folk tales and folklore and it being passed down. So it's very similar to like a lot of things we were talking about, but I definitely got a little teary at the end, and I won't and it's a heartfelt, not necessarily sadness. But okay, I can't keep talking about it or I'm going to give everything away.
Okay. Well, I'm so excited. I have had the privy of seeing like some of these peeking behind the scenes and also being able to kind of like see what you're working on that's also going into this. I'm so excited. I can't wait to be, I hope, like the first among folks just elbowing my way to the front to pre-order this on the 9th. I can't wait to see and get that in the mail. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and then next time, well, I don't know if I'll do it on the pod or if I'll do it like in a Substack post, but I'll put some more quotes. I actually
Ooh,
have
yeah.
some of your quotes ready
No.
to go. And I didn't do it this time because, I wanted to prep you, but Nico
Thanks.
had once said that she doesn't love writing dialogue, or like you feel like dialogue just doesn't hit as good as like setting and
Like
action
I'm not
and
good at it. Yeah.
but the quote, it's so funny. I did not know this. And the quote I pulled is dialogue. And I pulled it because you created such tension with these two characters because it's a little dark romantasy, right?
Yeah.
And it perfectly shows that there's a bigger thing happening outside of these two people, but that it's the way they're talking about it, there could be, whether you meant it or not, subliminal things about their bond and about, what's going on with them. Anyway, there's your
Yeah.
teaser, guys. That might come next pod, or it's definitely going to be put into a post everywhere, so follow along to get some more teasers, and say hello to Arwen because now she's here whining.
We love you, Arwen. Arwen is whining. She also wants to read some of these spooky and amazing and magical tales. The other thing is, if you're into flash fiction, my quick plug is all the rest of this month we have a weekly prompt going on over at my Substack, Bahanian Rhapsody. Gives you a dark, fucked up prompt once per week. Please participate because there are prizes, and we're going to choose one monthly winner to win a Secret Society limited edition book bundle at the end of the month. Enjoy!
So to stop any nefarious rumors from spreading about who wins, how are you going to decide who is the winner? Are we doing like a little poll? Is there like a secret shadow government in your basement that we don't know about for the Curious Post?
So, listen, there may well be a secret shadow government in my basement, but you know how I feel about that. For this first year, I may just create a rubric and score the good old-fashioned way. Who knows?
Yeah, and you're good at being like an unbiased person. You know what I mean? Like you're good at that. I don't think I
Thanks.
could do a competition. I'm biased. So I would see people's names I
What?
know and I'd be like, "Oh, they win." I mean,
Yeah.
I'd read everything and I I just know I'm biased. I'm just a biased person. I can
Everybody is. I'm for sure biased too, but I can be like, I think we had so many standouts. You know what I mean? It's going to be
Mhm.
tough. There would have to be some kind of like criteria officially.
Yeah. I'm working on mine, so it's bargain is the first one, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
so I've been working on mine, and it's not that I've hit a roadblock. This is a problem for me lately with short stories,
Yeah.
is that I just keep going instead of like I keep making my idea too big for the
You're
prompt.
expansive.
So
Yeah.
it's hard, and I have 3 more days. Right? 8th? 3 days? 2 days.
So Monday, every Monday it
Okay.
resets with a new prompt.
Yeah.
So basically when this comes out, you
I better be
will
smarter than
either
everybody else.
you either will have something ready and posted that people can go check out and read, which they can find in the directory of stuff on my Substack, or maybe you'll skip it and make a different one for this week to come.
Ugh. What if I turn I'm not expecting to win any of the prizes. I mean, I would love to win. But I've already pre-ordered all my stuff.
Yeah, like an
So,
angel.
yeah, so I don't need it. Maybe I do need it though, cuz I would love another one of those like pins cuz they're so cute.
Oh my
But
god.
um also I just love writing. That's why I'm doing this. So
Yes.
I got to get,
Badge.
yeah, cute
A little
badge.
salute for a little digital badge that I could make myself. I can't have any of these, but I love them.
Another so for writing competitions, I just signed up for writing battle for in the next
Dude, I saw that.
month. And it's a professionally graded or judged, not graded, judged, that's a better word, for these stories coming out. And you don't know what you get, right? So you could get romance as a genre, you could get sci-fi as a genre, you could get you could have to incorporate a hat, a flag, you have to you get what you get. So you can't really prep for it. You
Yeah.
can, but we're writers. I've talked about it before. We fudge the line of like how things can fit, we're creative. But if you're a writer out there, if listeners, writing battle is not that expensive. I think it was $30 for entry. And the feedback that you get from other writers and other people is just beyond. So it has this community that's really addicting. And the only other place I found that is Substack. Like, we maybe don't give critiques as often on Substack,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the community that's there for writers and especially developing in the fiction world is or the fiction world on Substack, I should say, is really amazing and fun to be a part of. We're all a bunch of weirdos on there. And it's how we like developed into BAM anyway.
Yep. I love it. That's such a good rate, too. But yeah, definitely check it out. Next, I believe you said that you have something to confess.
Yeah, I fell for marketing. Okay. I fell hook, line, and sinker for something in a TikTok shop because I'm 34, I'm going to be 35. And I was talking to Nico before about like inherited metabolism, right? It's not like the best. I'm a pretty active person, but I gained a lot of weight over the past couple years. And a part of that is because of my lifestyle change. I bought these patches that are supposed to be good for your metabolism. I am
Nice.
only on day 2. I will let you guys know if there is anything significant. Right now, I am noticing stuff, but I'm very susceptible to the placebo effect. So, like, let's be real.
Love
Um,
it.
but I have noticed that I'm need to be drinking more. Like, I need to be more hydrated. Like, I'm noticing more cotton mouth, like kind of vibes. I'm noticing less need to go get food. Anyway, so that's my confession. I was a basic bitch, and I ordered something that I saw a pretty lady tell me to do. And I'll let you guys know. Not that you maybe are interested in this journey, but it is a confession. Okay? It's not as
Yes.
nefarious as maybe
Yeah,
others. All
you
right?
got bamboozled on Trick Talk.
Yeah. And like I'm usually pretty good, but they had this A13 one or A13 or something, a retinoid cream that I really like. And did it miraculously make me look like a baby? No. But did it make me feel like good with my routine? I didn't buy it from the TikTok shop. I watched it and then went and found it cheaper in another spot. And that's a thing you could do too.
I love it.
You got any confessions? I bet you can't top that one, okay? That was like the darkest villain era confession. Just kidding.
Confessions, confessions, confessions. I know I'll have one. Hang on.
These are my confessions.
I don't fucking think I did.
That's okay. One time you had a confession and I didn't have a confession.
Is
So
that true?
this makes up for it.
Okay.
I might have pretended I had a confession because I'm good at pretending.
Yes.
But that's another confession. Okay. Oh my gosh. 2 confessions now.
You're on a roll. Talk to your priest. That'll be 2 Hail Marys and 1 Where Magic is Made. Available today.
Oh gosh.
But now we get to the meat and potatoes because Jess and I have been doing a little deep dive in about some haunted shit.
Yeah, I had this idea. I think I was listening to maybe a podcast, probably Morbid, because that's kind of the podcast that I listen to, or Two Girls, One Ghost, another great podcast that I like
Oh
to
my
go
God,
into.
that name.
I know, but they're really fun. Just a couple of chicks talking about spooky shit, which we love, obviously, because we're here. But it got me thinking that there is a haunted place right by me that I visited, and I wanted to talk about it. And I thought it would be a perfect time to kick off the season of, longing for October, because that's all September really is to me. Is
100%.
Yeah. And then I was
Practice October.
Yeah. And then I was like, I bet Nico knows a ton of haunted places just because you've traveled a lot, especially like I know every time I visit New England, like Boston, there's all these ghost tours,
For
there's
sure.
all these things.
Salem.
And down here in Florida, we have St. Augustine, which is supposed to be one of the top haunted places. So I thought maybe I'll start with something I already know before I have to like dive into these research, but I would love to research more about St. Augustine and kind of like why people say that, or am I again falling for marketing? Because I'm susceptible, obviously.
I know. There are a lot of like ghost tour places around here in Michigan where I live now, and I feel like it's quite the racket.
Yeah, because it's like sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, I believe that everywhere's haunted, honestly.
Wholeheartedly.
But like when you get money involved and you're on this tour and stuff, but Europe does it right. According to my mom, because they lived in England for 3 years, they went to all of these different castles and they had them so that the doors shut by themselves, like all this like cool spooky stuff. So it's like almost like a haunted house tour.
Trixie.
And I'm like, ghost tours in America, we could learn from it, have some weird.
Yeah, pick up the pace.
Yeah, but I hear there's a lot of haunted places up there. I think that has to do with it being cold too.
You think?
Nobody wants to go to a haunted hot place. Okay, a hot and haunted place. Like St.
Yeah,
Augustine, like I'm thinking about it now. It doesn't sound fun to me. It makes me think of like conquistadors coming over and like murdering everybody, which is sad. And then now this like lingers.
I feel like there's plenty of that here too.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why it's different to me though, because it's not hot, Maybe it's just like the rot of summer. I'm just like, ugh.
It doesn't feel spooky.
No, it just feels like, the Stepford Wives, like, "Prim and proper, always summer," like, "Nee, you can't have be cold here. Can't have
Yeah,
seasons here, we're perfect with green all the time."
perfect. I love it. Well, I'll start with one of mine.
Okay, yeah.
So that's near me, and that has to do with an individual by the name of Kellogg. Have you heard of cornflakes, Jess?
Yes, and also Frosted Flakes because Tony the
Mm-hmm.
Tiger. Gotta love
They're great.
Tony.
So basically, this guy, John something or other, like John Milton or John Harvey Kellogg, started a health craze, which is where all great ghost stories and haunted tales start, of course. Um, and basically, Kellogg was responsible at the turn of the century and during Victorian times for the health craze of balanced, unexcitatory meals like cornflakes, not frosted flakes. He would not approve of frosted flakes because the sugars in them would be too exciting, not enough fiber. But there was this fresh air craze happening at the same time. Rich people from everywhere would flock to his facilities, his wellness facilities, to become better. And
Oh.
there was one giant sanitarium erected in Michigan, southwest in the mitten, for those of you that like to do things that way when it comes to places in Michigan. Um, High fiber, easy to digest, not a lot of sugars, and really, really limited caloric intake. So that, I think, to me, that screams like rife for the ability to have like something horrendous happen, develop some kind of instability for
And,
someone,
like,
right?
weird, like, essence. What was the year again, did you say? Or
So it's like turn of the century between the 1800s and the 1900s. So late,
Oh,
late, late 1800s. Um,
okay.
This building burnt down in
Oh.
like 1902, oh 03, maybe right around there. He rebuilt it and it was used for World War II soldiers, things like this. The reason I tell you this history is because the building still stands. It's been repurposed as a federal building and it's still currently haunted, allegedly, by soldiers, by people who were housed as patients in the sanitarium. And so
Ugh.
people are just working and living constantly side by side with these apparitions that are walking down the halls wearing these uniforms, maybe creating some noise and disturbances. And you can kind of go there and see it. Now, another cool thing about it is that, so you know, when you're in a city, in an urban area, there's always like pigeons and
Mhm.
birds like this around a building. This building had it houses a roost of like 20 or 30 vultures who are
Mm.
always up there or circling nearby. It's incredibly cool and spooky.
Yeah, like, I was thinking you were gonna say, like, crows or say, actually, no birds at all wanna be near this building.
Zero birds. Yeah.
But for it to be vultures, it's just such, like, a symbolic thing. And the red tape of it all, like, it's a federal building and, like, just red tape haunts me anyway, so that's scary, like, to go through all the bureaucracy. Gah.
Ooh. Yeah. So that's just like the light intro. That's what is near me. There's a bunch of books written about like that building and every like related building. It's a very creepy place.
When you were first talking about it, what sparked my memory was there was in the 70s, I think in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, so far away, but a wellness center sprouted up that's very similar to low caloric, intake, nothing
Yes.
excitable, right? So it's kind of crazy that this trend of it wasn't like good Christian food, right? 'Cause it's not excitable, it's like very Puritan in its nature of how it sounds, you
It
know?
could be. Honestly, it could be. So, what I was really interested to see, this is less haunting related and more just like culture related. So, there were a lot of folks settling Michigan way back in the day that were from Scandinavian countries. So, there's a huge Finnish, Swedish, Norwegian population of descendants here, and people still coming, emigrating over from those countries today. But they ended up having a really hard time with a giant influx of Protestants from New England, maybe like 100 years later. And so they would kind of butt heads. And you can even see it in the architecture of the churches downtown in cities like where I live and other like really bustling populations in southern Michigan now. Um, and the thing that really struck me while I was reading the history of the area was these Protestants were shunned because of their lack of fun. They would just work all the time, and they thought that everyone else who was enjoying life was lazy, and I'm like, "Wow, that does sound like New England."
It sounds like, America. You know what I mean? Like, you
They're
think of
everywhere now.
yeah, like what we're built off of and around and stuff. Maybe started off as like a good intention or, whatever, but now it just feels so hollow. It's like,
Yeah.
let us have some fun. Like leave us alone. Let us just like have some fun. Like why does
Yeah, took
everything
it a
have
little
to
too
be
far.
yeah. I know Buddhism says life is suffering, but even they, you know, take a little bit of a break every now and then,
Nice.
you know. Okay, so did it turn into something else? Or is it just a federal building now?
It is just a federal building now. There are these old wards. Some interesting stories about elevators that have moods. This is a quote, moods,
Oh, I
moody
get
elevators.
I feel that though. Like you enter a room sometimes and a tiny room like an elevator. You can't hide if somebody's like, even if you're not pissed, but the person before you went in there pissed, it's like you kind of feel like, oh God, like surrounded thing.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine nobody wants to be a ghost. I mean, maybe I want to be a ghost, haunt some certain people or like, just have fun or whatever. But I don't think like, oh, I can't wait to be a ghost trapped in this building that's now not the building I know, and I have to wear this uniform all the time.
So I didn't think this was that cool, this next piece, but so recently, 2017, 2018, right before the pandemic, there was like a strange strobe effect on the facade of the building and they couldn't track down where it was. So people immediately said ghosts and UFOs, but they never found out what it was. So it's always the center of some weird happenings in the area.
That's just always so interesting as what makes like, as much as you wanna deny the existence of, bigger things and stuff like that or, magic and UFOs, like, I think it's, like, our nature to want to do that, like humans, not me, obviously, but humans. Um, but you can't deny that there's a why is it certain buildings, right? Like, why are certain things always attracting, like, the paranormal and stuff? When, like, other buildings aren't, it's not like they go around and say, "Oh, you know what? This condominium? Haunted. Haunted. Can't get anything here. Rent's real cheap, but it's haunted."
Yeah.
You don't really get that. But then you have these old buildings and these old structures with, like, weird history and they're like magnets for this energy and
Absolutely. Yeah.
discovery. That in and of itself, to me, means there's merit to different things. No, strobe light effect. Um,
Yeah.
that's odd. Like in of itself.
Yeah. I was skeptical immediately, but that's the story, that's the history of the SAN is what they call it here. The
The sand?
sanitarium.
Oh, yeah, the sand.
The SAN.
I guess, like, when you think of a sanitarium too, like, they hold so much.
It's
Mm,
huge. The building
yeah.
is huge.
The game I really like to play, Phasmophobia, has a
Yes.
sanitarium, uh, an asylum,
Sweet.
map. It's huge, and parts of it lock when the ghost is hunting, but you don't if you're, like, in one of the spots, you don't know. Anyway, of course, my
Have you
brain
ever
is going
done,
there.
like, urban exploration? Like, kinda, like, sneaking into places and stuff like that?
I I have. Don't come for me, mother.
Oh my god!
But, there was this place, I forget what we would call it. It had, like, a name, us kids, us crazy kids. But it was like
Uh-huh.
an old parking garage in this town, and I had
Sick.
moved here, right? So I'm 15, I'm a rebel, okay, I'm away from all my friends, so I'm okay with, taking up. But it was really dark down there, covered with graffiti. A ton of, like, rituals stuff was down there, like candles and stuff. But a lot of, like, people would take refuge, that didn't have homes and stuff, or, like, down on their luck, or
Yeah.
crackheads, some fitting all 3 boxes. So it wasn't, like, the safest excursion to go on as a 15-year-old, uh, girl, or a 15-year-old boy for that matter, um but I'm alive. We made it out. But
Yeah.
that was kind of my first experience of like, "Ooh, like, this is an abandoned spot." But not a lot of structures like that exist where I'm at now. Like, in Florida,
Yeah.
it's, like, a lot of new buildings, and by new, I mean, like, 1980s, they have to
Yeah, that's new.
constantly refurbish because of hurricanes.
Yeah.
So, you have to meet a code, and if your building's not meeting a code, then you're paying crazy amount of property tax. So, a lot of buildings are either taken down completely and or they're, restructured. So I haven't been able to scratch the itch of exploring abandoned places anymore.
I love it. Another thing to add to the bucket list when you come to visit for a convention.
Yes. Okay, so let me go into Port St. Lucie. I'll start in the setting because a lot of people that live in Florida, they know a lot about Port St. Lucie. And if you live out of Florida, they mix the headlines often and not really in the best way, right? So,
Hmm.
Port St. Lucie, there was this guy who had a rager for an entire weekend, and it turned out his parents were dead in their beds, decomposing, and he had murdered them. And that happened in Port St. Lucie, right? So this is kind of like the vibe that we're kind of going into. I'm just ripping the band-aid off for everybody. Because what I'm going to talk about whoa, what I'm talking about the devil's tree, right? So it's got its name for a reason. So let me start off with like the creepy pasta, right? The urban legends that kind of sprawled from this instead of the facts. Because when you hear the facts, it's going to be a very like contrast to actuality. So it says that this tree was used for satanic worship, that cloaked figures are seen around it all the time, performing rituals. They attempted to burn this tree down, did not burn. It like would not go away. They tried to poison it. It survived. I don't know if they took an axe to it or not, but like a lot of people are very superstitious about this tree and like what would be unleashed, right? There was these stories of that many, like hundreds of people were murdered and sacrificed around this tree trunk. And I laugh because it's not the case. But what is the case is these true crime that happened. Actually, a deputy a police officer is the culprit. And what makes it, I'm just pulling up my notes so I get his name. Jared John Schaefer. or Gerard John Schaefer. And everybody knows that when you have two first names, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign
Mhm.
in the true crime world.
You're
Um,
dead.
yeah, there's something going on with that. And he had the victims of Susan Place and Georgia Jessup. And these two girls were actually murdered, and their body and remains were found underneath this tree. And he actually had two survivors, Nancy Trotter and Paula Sue Wells, that survived and actually helped get him convicted of these crimes. But he would find hitchhikers, and as he explained in his confession, or whatever, I'm just punishing these hitchhikers because they're doing this, look at how unsafe they're being. And you just think of like the victim blaming mentality to even be used in this situation, which of course this was, I think, in the 1970s. Hitchhiking is going like full force. He was before Ted Bundy. If you look up pictures of this guy, he's
He's
the
hot?
no, no.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
said Ted Bundy.
I know, but I am in the minority. I don't think Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy never was hot to me. I wasn't like, oh hey, like
I think he's my birthday buddy.
good company, I guess, whatever.
Crazy.
But
He'll get you.
oh gosh, he's so creepy. But it's like when you see Ted Bundy and you see him like before he tried to defend himself in trial, like you see the two
Yeah.
versions of him. Was so dead and scary. Like when you just looked at him. This
Yeah.
guy, his mugshot, he's smiling in, like close up, and while he's going with handcuffs on, he's like always smiling. And these women, actually the survivors, didn't dress up, but they reenacted it in court of how he had left them. And
Is that allowed? That's so effective. That sounds like it would be so effective.
yeah, and like and to show like, yeah, this is like what he did, to like very prove, like, prove without a doubt, like this is the guy that did that, because he was a police officer, right? And so
Mm.
that they always, they protect each other all the time. And we can talk about how that's a dangerous thing, to be like, no matter what, I got my boys back, because it kind of leave this open. But it's also kind of interesting that all of these urban legends and things love to equate it with Satan and witches and pagan and these ritualistic things, when really it was a cop murderer that, killed these girls.
Yeah, the guy was
And
a thumb.
yeah, and it was nothing to do with witchcraft in the slightest. But it's like, oh, we just like don't know how to handle truth stories sometimes of people that we believe are supposed to protect us and protect the vulnerable, and then when they're exposed like that, the way that people take it on a journey in a way, um to make something that was already interesting enough, horrible enough. It didn't need to be sensationalized among satanic panic that hit
Yeah.
in the 80s, right? And although I wasn't living in Florida at the time, I honestly feel like satanic panic probably hit here heavy because it's Florida. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's hot down here. It's hotter than hell, down here. Um, but so I went to the Devil's Tree at night,
Pilgrimage.
talking about doing things you're not allowed. I
love it.
went at night. The park is closed. You're not necessarily supposed to go in the park. We had booze, okay? We were gonna be drinking by Devil's Tree and just like feeling out like everything that was supposed to be, right? And there's like etchings on the tree. There is like a weird knot on it, and there is like scarring on the tree, for lack of a better word. Like somebody tried to torch it, you know. It
Ooh.
has like that remnants, like Fern Gully, you know, where
Oh
the
my God, stop.
yeah, like something's trapped in there. Don't get down that tree, right? Or you're gonna release the
Tim
boogie.
Curry. I love him. I love hexes.
I know. I love Tim Curry and just
Yeah.
period. Please let me never find anything out about Tim Curry that's gonna make me
No, he's an
sad.
angel on earth. He can do no wrong. Absolutely.
um, but so you can go see it. Now, some things look like just teenagers carving their initials in it and things like that. If you Google Devil's Tree, you get two distinct different things. You get one that tells you, they all tell you the story of that piece of shit murderer. And they all go into like the creepypasta of it all. But some will go into the hauntings and the overall vibe and how this tree's immortal like being. But there's also two trees because one tree, one of the victims, the survivors were found at, is supposedly different than the tree where the remains were found. So they don't even know like which tree is which anymore because it's a huge oak tree, right?
Does it look like the tree at the beginning of True Detectives?
I'm trying to remember it. I don't want to say like, yeah, and then be like,
Who knows?
actually it
Yeah.
looks nothing like it. But it does give that vibe of like, there's just something here. So I could have been standing in front of the Devil's Tree. I could have been standing in front of the other one. Both have residuals things, I think. And trees are so old that when you see a giant oak tree or banyanwood tree or a tree that's been around for hundreds, thousands of years, they're always going to give you that weird, like, wow. It's like, and if they don't do that for you, then I'm sorry for your lackluster life. Like, I don't know what to
Oh
tell
my
you.
God.
You know what I mean? But like, if you haven't looked at a tree and like really know, like, this tree has experienced shit, you know, come on. You know what I mean? Like,
So this is interesting. You said it's an oak tree.
it is. It's an oak tree.
So are you familiar with what oak trees were representative of in Old World Europe? 1600s, 1500s, 1400s, 1600s.
Educate me.
All right. Have you heard of a little god the Northerners like to call Odin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sacred
Oh,
to
his
the
tree?
one-eyed.
Yes. Where he was hung. Is that like he was hung from that tree for a long
I
time?
think so.
He was.
Wait, no.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is that the world tree or is that an oak tree? Oak trees are sacred to him.
Uh,
Are they the same?
I don't know. I just know that he was hung from a tree.
Okay.
And he was hung there for a long time. I think like 8 days or something. And then he was like, obviously he survived because he's Odin. He's not that great of a guy. He's kind of like Zeus, you know. We got bad things that he did. Turning into animals and raping people. Okay. I just can't, you know, that's just like kind of what he was doing. It wasn't as bad as Zeus in certain aspects. I mean, but you know, Loki is Loki for a reason. So,
Well, do you know what's interesting? Odin, Wotan, is equated with the Mercurialism and the movement between the worlds, similar to Mercury or Hermes, and not Zeus, despite the animal transgressions.
well, you know, I'm not holding it again. Not again. I am holding it against. I'm not holding any
He
god.
held it against. Hey,
I'm not
get me
holding
out of here.
any god to a certain standard from the stories that, you know, we know about all the gods and goddesses. Like, you know, everybody was feeling a little something, a little jealous all the time. Like, according to the stories, like, you know, we have. So maybe Mercury was doing some shit too. I don't know.
You know he was.
Yeah.
And 3 realms. Not just one.
Oh, no, I think Norse mythology was, late in my game, right? Because like, a Greek held me, Egyptian held me. I'm knocking shit over on my desk. And, obviously Roman Greek, I know they're different, but they're very
They're
what
the fucking same.
they're the same. They just have different names and but the same stories. Like there's not really like a discrepancy that I've found in my non-doctorate. I don't have any credibility
Get
beyond.
out of here with your doctorates. We're talking about fun.
Yeah. But I listened to the Norse mythology collection, like Neil Gaiman put it together. And now Neil Gaiman, of course, is a creepazoid. So it's sad. I still have it and I love it. And I hate how talented, I hate how multifaceted people can be when it comes to being creepzilla and a talented artist and writer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so annoying. Why can't they all just be scum of the earth and they do know nothings? You know, like,
Well, I think inherent is that power that comes with great artistic expression.
yeah, it's like that hubris that's like, oh yeah, I am the shit. And
Yeah.
And then it like just reveals those things, you know?
All the girlies just like, oh, your words are so nice. That purple prose that Jess hates, I love it.
Neil doesn't do that over much.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
true.
Oh.
He does write comic books.
Yeah.
So I hope not.
Oh, Good Omens. All these things.
Such a good one,
know?
but Pratchett, come on.
Yeah.
Don't get.
Yeah. Oh, Terry. Don't let anything come
All
out
right.
about you, Terry.
Absolutely not, please.
I'll be so sad. But Douglas Adams is also really good too. He doesn't do any mythology. I'm just putting out another name to make me feel better. Okay? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. All right? Funny. Good. But anyway, Devil's Tree.
No assaults. Yeah, back to the Devil's Tree.
So when I went, I definitely felt heavy. You know, I definitely felt a heaviness. And I didn't know any of the story. I didn't even know why we were going here because I'm not.
What a reveal.
I'm not like, I was still new, kind of. Like, I'd only been here. I got here at 15, going to the Devil's Tree of like maybe 18 or 19, right? And when I think about it like that, that felt like an eternity at a time. 15 to 18, that felt like eons, right? Like crazy
Like a whole
to
ass
think about.
life.
But now it's like, 30 to 34, you know, it's whatever. Just past
Flash
like,
in the pan.
you know? But I didn't know a lot of the lore around where I was. And I mean, I heard Devil's Tree and I just assumed it was because people partied. You know, they went there to party. And we had booze and we had friends. So I was like, okay, we're part of the Devil's Tree because we're going out there, you know. And my friend Gabby and I kind of looked at each other after being there for a while. And I was just like, it feels weird here. And she's like, I know. I like kind of hate it. And so we kept walking and we found this weird playground. And then we just started drinking there and, you know, degenerate life of
I love
long
it.
ago. And it was
You
fun.
degens.
But it was also very heavy. And I wish when I had gone and I wasn't a stupid teenager, I would have been more respectful to everything that had actually happened there. It wasn't like nobody was being disrespectful in the area of the tree. Like it wasn't like no one was pouring out bottles.
But you were partying. Yeah, exactly.
But it was like we
I
were
get it.
being loud, we were being irreverent, we weren't talking about like the history. Like I wasn't learning anything. And so like I felt like I wasn't, you know, and I think that is a reason why things felt heavy in that moment. Now looking back is like that place has a story and a history and we were being so flippant and I mean, I blame the people I was with more than me. I was ignorant. But I also know, we all have regretty spaghetti sometimes of like how we behaved when we're fucking 18. But at the playground, we were less respectful. And that's just like how it happened. But
Maybe, hey, we were just talking about why are these newer buildings not haunted? These older buildings are. The playground was probably a lot newer than the Devil's Tree.
right.
Maybe reverence over time compounds into window viewing areas.
Right. Like maybe it's like, oh, this is the spot that we should
Yeah.
be like taught, like not forgetting about it, but not having to acknowledge it. And then we can kind of see from a
It,
distance.
it's where the circles come through
Yeah.
from 3D land. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, the circles come through.
You got it, though.
And
This
then I
was your
like,
reference.
I was like, oh yeah, flatland. Okay, we got it. We got it. But yeah, I definitely think and it's it's not a national park. I don't even know if it's a state park, but it's definitely like a reservation and you can go. And if you ever visit Florida and you're not at the hot spot of Disney and you're not at the hot spot of Miami or like one of the cities and you're in some bum town in Port St. Lucie because it's up and coming, but really it's sprawling of not a whole lot going on. But it is
Gotcha.
definitely like a lot of people are moving up there. It's cheaper housing right now, whatever that
Sign me
means.
up.
But there are a couple places, but if you just type in Devil Street, it'll come up like, directions to get to. So it's just kind of interesting that happens.
Yeah.
That this tree has a GPS locator, like you can find it, type it in. Like,
I love it. Geocachers burying stickers and shit like that around it.
oh, yeah.
Geocachers might be reverent. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to stick anything on the tree. I think the tree will just soak it in and it becomes a part of it because you can't get this tree gone. They've tried
A burl.
They've tried so much to get it to just wither, but it doesn't.
A haunted burl subsumes the holographic sticker someone tries to put on the tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of geocachers, not that I thought that this was the best of segues, but looking at the time, I'll make this short and sweet. But since it's spooky season and we're sharing shit that we've done that may be a little delinquent, picture yourself, if you will, in the changing leaves of New England. One fine, I don't know, probably October night, but maybe September. Who knows? They're gold, they're orange, they're red, maples, delicious, beautiful scenery. There's a trail. Allegedly, somewhere on Mount Appetite
Wait,
in Auburn,
The
Maine.
Wait. The mountain is Mount Appetite?
Mount Appetite, but spelled like the mineral or the rock.
Oh,
So,
okay. That makes sense.
But I do love a double entendre.
Yes. I don't know why I was like, oh, big appetite,
What are you guys doing up there, you crazy kids?
You're like, oh, they're delicious maple trees and up Mount Appetite.
I see what you're saying now. No. So, allegedly, up on Mount Appetite in Auburn, Maine, there's the burnt down house of a witch.
Oh.
I went up there with a couple of my friends one night. Yes, night. Yes, the park is closed after sunset. Yes, we still went anyway. And so you have to go off trail a little bit. I've seen it by the light of day. It's not that scary. It's stone foundations. It's from like the 1600s. There's a lot of weird stuff up there. It's near an old quarry for mica.
Okay.
There's like a lot of old mining roads. Nothing's paved, so it's just like old gravel and crushed stone from the mica mines.
Which was creepy in general,
I fucking love it. So, you go up this mountain. There are some small ponds on it. lots of forking gravel roads, bike paths, things like that. It's really great.
Yeah.
So we get to the top of the mountain. It's really dark and cold. And there are like crickets chirping and stuff like that. And it starts to feel a little scary. And so the two friends that I'm with are the scariest motherfuckers you'll ever meet, of course. Why am I the bravest one out of the trio that's making it up this hill, this mountain? So we get to the very top and we go down some side paths and stuff like that. We find it and we're like, nothing's happening. This is pretty cool. We look around at the site and there are some other things there. People have left recent mining equipment, modern mining equipment, because what they like to do is dig for apatite, which is gem quality stones, right? So people will bring buckets and things like that, tarps and stuff. So we found some stuff like that. Nothing too weird. Nothing too old because it's probably like pretty popular, though it is like wicked hidden off the trails. But we decide they're getting a little scared. I'm getting a little cold. I'm certainly not getting scared or shaking in my boots or anything. I'm just like, yeah, there's nothing here. This is kind of boring. Maybe we should go back. We get back to the path and there's this fucking blood-curdling scream.
Oh, no.
So close, dude. So close to us. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's miles from the car. It's pitch fucking black. We only have headlamps.
Oh, my God.
Two of us have headlamps. One person has a phone flashlight.
Oh, my God.
So we go, what the fuck? And we start booking it down these trails. We almost go the wrong way. We hear another scream, and it's like, wah! It's like a woman's bright, crazy, last final screams as she's being fucking murdered. Do you know what sounds like that? We get back to the car, and we sit and we think about it. We're like heaving, right? Like we can't catch our breaths. We're like trying to just tell a joke and get the fuck out of there before anybody sees us. It's near like the entrance is near like a military base.
Right.
And so I didn't know it at the time, but I found a clip. I came across it a little bit later. It was the scream of a fox.
Oh. Yeah. Jackals have a similar like chitter, like a sound too. I only know this.
I'm gonna link it wherever the fuck we put this.
Yeah.
And it is blood curdling.
It's scary. I totally forgot that because some mockingbirds will do the same thing too. They'll make you think like there's a bigger animal or like, something scarier that they've heard. But Arwen, I really wanted her to howl like a wolf, like a really bad. Like, so I was like playing wolf sounds. Oh, she just looked at me like I was crazy. Like, I'm not supposed to do that. But when I put on jackal sounds, she would be like, oh, I'm into this actually. And I would put on fox sounds and she'd be like, oh yeah. And then she makes like those like talking sounds, or whatever. Jackals have crazy, like goat screaming is like kind of like what I think of, and like a fox screaming and stuff. So
yeah,
at night, oh
dude,
gosh,
pitch fucking black.
Look at you logically finding an answer. Me, I would have been like, we heard the ghost. They were coming for us. That's what they were doing.
Listen, I do believe, but I'm also not gonna kid myself if I heard an animal screaming at me.
Yeah. You're going to let the fox do what the fox needs to do,
Yeah. They were probably boning.
And if that means you need to run for your life, for miles to the car.
Don't think I've ever run so fast in my life.
I just imagine shit, 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 shit.
Yes, for miles. Yeah.
That's how you know if you're a survivor or not. I see a part of me, I'm like, would I run the whole time? Maybe. Or would I be like, you know what? This thing can get me. You know?
Yeah. We're
Oh,
we're like tripping down like these big large rocks down the gravel
oh
mountain
my
part of
gosh.
it. Yeah, dude.
I forgot that it was gravelly and stuff too, and like
Yeah.
uneven terrain.
Yep. Well, I gotta go get a bigger butterfly net because, god damn it, I'm gonna go catch one of those vultures on top of the sand. Catch you guys next time. Don't forget to check out the links below and pre-order Where Magic is Made. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Well, I gotta go. I gotta go patch up. Nope. Damn it.